cross-sectional tasting here. And cross-sectional simply means that you're going to be tasting a couple of teas that are of the same category side by side. We are going to start with a white tea, then we're going to do green, oolong, black, and pu'er. So a little similar to what you did in the preceding tasting, but with a little bit extra because of the side by side. So let's start here with the white tea, and this is the white silver needle or yin zhen. And again, always touch your leaf and feel that soft hairy down on it. One of my absolute favorite things to do is to open up these beautiful leaves and see that this is truly just a bud itself. That's what you call a tea nerd. So the flavors in this particular tea, really smooth. There isn't any heavy aftertaste. It's not very strong, and it doesn't have anything overpowering. It goes down really nice and lightly down your throat, and there's not too much lingering. I usually describe this as buttery, and it's got a sweetness that is reminiscent of sweet hay as opposed to a sweet candy taste. Then we've got two green teas here. And what's important that I want you to note and really pay attention to is that we've got a steamed green tea from Japan, and we've got a pan-fired green tea from China. So as you've learned, the purpose of steaming or pan-firing is to prevent, stop oxidation from happening, which is what happens to everything from here on down. The steamed green from Japan, the heat process is what will stop that oxidation from happening. So it tastes much grassier, and you'll see that the leaves themselves are much lighter and greener in color. You also see that in the liquor itself. So let's taste them and see the differences. Much toastier and smokier in the pan-fired green than in the steamed green tea. Now remember that everything is relative to the last thing that you taste. So relative to the white tea, the pan-fired green tea does have a grassiness to it, but the steamed green directly following is going to be even more grassy. If, however, we flipped these two and tasted, for example, the Japanese green first and then the pan-fired green, grassy is not the first word that would come to mind in describing the Chinese, because you've tasted something that is far more vegetative beforehand. Try that exercise and flip it around and see how the flavors change for you. Then the oolong, we've got semi-oxidized, partially oxidized. Oolongs, as I've said, are very, very different from each other. So less oxidized is going to have that really beautiful floral character to it. This particular oolong is a little bit more oxidized than some others that I've had, which means it's got a bit of a toasty flavor to it. So a nutty flavor is really the best way to describe this. Then we've got the two black teas, and on the two black, I want you to notice the same things that I told you to notice here on the greens. And note here that these are processed in the same way fundamentally, in that they're fully oxidized teas, but they obviously look very different. So you can see the leaf size is immensely different between the CTC over here and then the Assam, the Orthodox black over here. And these are both Assams. And black teas from Assam have a multi-honey rich quality to them. The CTC process is a much, much finer leaf, which means that the surface area of leaf to water has been increased, which creates a stronger infusion, and you see that in the cup itself. The similarities in flavor are that multi-honey quality, and that's because of where this particular tea is coming from, or where both of these particular teas are coming from. But the CTC brews a darker, richer liquor, which, as I said, you can see in the liquor itself, but also comes through very strongly in the flavor. And last, and certainly not least, we've got pu'er, which is the aged tea. Much darker leaf, much darker liquor, and much richer, stronger flavors. So earthy, toasty, reminds me of mushrooms and earth are the predominant flavors that you're going to see coming out of a pu'er.